Welcome to the Six Figure Personal Stylist Podcast, the ultimate no BS business podcast for ambitious personal stylists ready to build a six-figure and beyond personal styling business. You won't hear the typical snooze fest business advice that most personal stylists get told all of the time. Nope, instead, I'll be sharing business building strategies that will help you create a killer personal brand, a cult following of loyal personal styling clients, and make a ton of cash while creating lasting style transformations for your clients. I'm Nicole Achi, your host and a former personal stylist of 14 years who built a lucrative styling business in 3 major cities, but only after spending years trying to crack the six-figure styling business code without burning out. And now I'm here to tell you how to do exactly the same. Let's get into it. I'm really excited to reintroduce you to this episode because it is perfectly timed with the summer series that came out a few episodes back. My client, Molly Hudson, came into my accelerator program with a legitimate business and a very familiar problem. She knew her clients cold. They wanted luxury, they were quality obsessed, and they were absolutely over dupes. She had spent years at Saks, Neiman's, and Barneys. Her skills were impeccable when it came to the luxury market. She just didn't have packages, systems, and was trying to figure out her whole business with 2 kids at home over the summer. She relaunched her business, raised her prices, and had a wait list by fall while her kids were home the whole time. And when your time is limited, your business plan is not really optional. It is the only thing that keeps you from spending what little time you have on avoiding the wrong things. And there's a moment in this episode where she pitches a client on a package 10 times her old rate, and the client says yes on the spot. If you have ever been wondering whether any of this that I talk about all the time actually works, Molly is going to tell you the answer in this episode and why it is absolutely possible for you to have too. Let's get into it. Thank you for being with me today, Molly.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Molly has been a stylist for how long now?
Going on 3 years.
Tell us a little bit about how you got into styling, because I think your story is really interesting.
I guess it started as a kid. I've always been into fashion and clothing, everything related. Since I was a little girl, I knew I wanted to work in the fashion industry. I went to school for it, graduated with a fashion merchandising degree. Right after I graduated, I moved to New York City because I went on a study abroad semester to New York City while I was in school, and I just knew I had to live there because it's everything fashion. So I did it right after graduation and got lucky and got into the buying office at Saks Fifth Avenue, where I got some great experience. I saw it all. I got to go to fashion shows. I got to go to buying appointments. I got to see it all. I also was there during 2008, the big crash. I saw Lehman Brothers go out of business, Bear Stearns, all of it. I was in the middle of it. So I got to witness, basically clearance sales at Saks. I thought we were going out of business, and it was really scary with layoffs and everything. I was there for a few years and decided to move back to Dallas, Texas, which is where I'm from. And I worked for a few other retailers before landing back at Neiman Marcus. During college, I worked on the sales floor at Neiman's. That was my first fashion retail job, and got my real experience with luxury retail, and I just loved it. I worked there for 2.5 years, and then I helped open the Barneys store that they opened at North Park Center. It was a gorgeous store and another, different side of luxury, more unique, especially different for Dallas clients. The Barneys customer is so different. So after I moved back to Dallas, I ended up working back at the corporate office in the buying office, and then ended in inventory management, kind of seeing all kinds of different aspects of the industry. I loved working in fashion, but I just never was truly vested in the corporate side. It wasn't as creative as I liked. I love the client facing. I loved working in the store. After I had my first daughter, I decided to stay home with her. And during that, I knew it wasn't for me completely. I wanted to be able to stay home with my daughter, but also I needed the creative outlet and something to have something with an adult. So I was helping friends here and there, styling and just all. I even took a part-time job at Neiman's as like an on-call associate to work in the store just so I could have my toe still in retail fashion. And one of my friends was like, "You should really think about helping people with their closets. You're really good at this, you know?" So I did a few guinea pig things on my friends and just kind of decided to take the leap. I thought of a name and I just started doing closet edits. Kind of that's how I started. And it just kind of went from there. The great thing about today's nature of business is you can kind of just start from anywhere. You can start on Instagram, TikTok, whatever your platform may be. It's all about word of mouth. And I have a great community that surrounds me and is so supportive. And it's just naturally grown.
It is pretty wild that you can just like for free open up an Instagram account and like have a business. And I think it's so easy when we're in our businesses to forget like how incredible of an opportunity that is. Especially as like a stay-at-home mom who's like, I really need to have another outlet with adults. I think so many people listening will completely understand. It's
Yeah.
ideal.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't any investment. I spent a little, my friend's a photographer. I paid her to take some pretty pictures. I had a cheap graphic made, I think, through Fiverr at the time and just did it. And yeah, I started out, like I said, just with some friends and, kind of lower prices to kind of get started. And I went from there. And 3 years later, I launched my website. Invested in business coaching with you, got better branding, better photos, and decided to take it to the next level.
So you actually just had a rebrand like the end of last week. Your website went up, which is super exciting. It looks gorgeous. Congratulations. Big, big labor of love. It takes a long time. And you never realize when you do a rebrand.
No, you don't. I mean, even though I had someone do the website. I mean, you're the one though that has to write all the verbiage and pick the pictures and the colors and all this stuff. And it you don't realize how much it goes into it.
If you had to pick one or two things from your past career that you think really, really helps you as a stylist, I have opinions on what I think makes you really stand out because I think every stylist has an angle and sometimes we don't even realize like how unique our vision of the industry is. Like, what would you say the things that you took from your past career has helped you with most?
Retail store experience. I mean, customer facing. If anyone wanted to get in this, you go work at a store. You need to know how to work with all different kinds of client. I mean, when I started out at 19, I was working in what was called Designer 2 at the time, which was selling Ellen Tracy and Dana Buckman suits. Okay. And these were like older women,
Yeah.
50s, maybe career, maybe not, maybe just ladies who lunch. Not my I didn't know anything about this world. And so I was kind of just thrown into it. It was during the holidays and I just did it. I mean, I had no business doing it, but I just did it. And it was great. And I realized like, okay, I kind of like this. This is really fun. I like styling these ladies and I will find stuff that looks good on them, even if it's not really my style. And then also just kind of with the buying office, knowing all the ins and outs of the industry. So I've been on the floor and then I know just how stores run. I just kind of have seen the whole industry. So now as basically a professional shopper, I know how to navigate the market and the stores and how things work.
Yeah, I would add that one of the things I think is really impressive is your understanding of like quality, like your ability to really speak to it. Because I think a lot of people give lip service to the quality thing, but they don't really know what like a quality garment looks like, what the expectations of its life cycle should be. Like there are a lot of things that I think for you are just so instinctual that you don't even realize that I watch and I'm like, oh, I'm not. Like that's pretty impressive that you are able to educate your audience in that way. And I think that that's really, really cool because we all want quality, but we don't always know what that looks like.
Yeah, it's true. And that is one of the things nowadays with everyone shopping online. It is something that you miss going into I personally love to shop in store. I'm one of the few people that still do. I love to touch the clothes, see it, everything. Even if you do love to do that, unfortunately, stores are just not stocked like they used to be. So your best selection is online. So I want to educate my clients on how to find and look for the things that are going to last and the fabrics that are good. Because there might be something that's $1,000 dress, but it could still be a viscose polyester blend that's terrible. So these are just things you need to know to look for that probably most people don't think because they just see the picture and think, oh, it's beautiful. But let's look at how it's made. Let's look at the details.
And I think from a marketing perspective, a lot of stylists fear sharing that concept with their audience because they think like, oh, like then they won't hire me. But what I think is missed in this sometimes, which is not missed on Molly because she does great with this in her content, is that actually it really makes you look like a pro to be, and it gives the client like a sense of comfort knowing that when they say, I only want quality in my wardrobe, I only want like a wardrobe that's full of really good high quality pieces, you could actually show them before they hire you that you actually know what that means and what that translates to. And that level of trust is huge because people don't want to do it themselves. So you educating them that they can trust you to do it for them is huge. And you do that really, really well in your marketing. You just did a new Target series that I'm obsessed with.
I've had a really good reaction to what I'm doing, and I think it's because my target client, they are over the dupe. They know that that's trash. They have the means to buy the real thing, and they've said, I mean, I get messages, I'm over buying dupes. I'd rather spend more money on the real thing than not, because why do we need a closet full of just too much clothes that you're going to wear one time and just invest in something that's a little nicer. Not to say there's not a random H&M find here and there, because I love that, but you just have to know what to look for.
Exactly. Which brings us to a topic that I think is really interesting, which is that you came really knowing like who your target market is when we started working together. And I want to share a little bit about, or if you are comfortable sharing a little bit about your journey to where you are now, because you started out doing friends and kind of doing the lower price, kind of figuring it out, which is what I highly, highly recommend anyone listening that wants to build to where Molly is now does. And then you did kind of like hourly. And then did you do smaller packages or no, just hourly?
No, just hourly.
Okay. So when I started working together, give me a picture of like the business and where it was given all the experience that you had.
Well, when I started, I mean, I did not know any stylists. The only thing I was going based off is my friend who started an organization company, and she started the same way I did. And now her business is, I mean, it's national, it's huge, and it's only 4 years old. So she was kind of my, I guess, mentor. And so she was charging hourly, and we kind of just talked about a rate, and I kind of put that out there. Starting off, I kind of figured out my client, what kind of client I liked real fast. And when I knew what I didn't want after working a few times with some of the clients, and then after having a few clients that I really liked, I knew that that was my client. But that's where your course came in handy because I didn't really understand how I could get that client. I didn't realize that getting packages, I didn't even know that was really that was a great option. I had no idea what to do. I just knew I needed to take my business to the next, something needed to take it to the next level, and I didn't know how.
What Molly came with was really important, which is like a vision for what she wanted. Cause like no one can tell you like what I can build you any kind of styling business you want. But if you don't know what it is, or you haven't like worked with enough people that you like and enough of the type of client to get what they want, like Molly could say very confidently, you just heard her say like, they don't want the dupes anymore. Like some people can't state that specifically. When you're at a point where you're like, I think it's the next level for me, I want to make more, we tend to forget that there's like other things we need to know to get there. And one of them is, who do you even like to work with? Like, it's not just, I need more money. It's like, what do you want to do to make that money? Who do you want to chill with to make it? And you were very clear about that.
Well, and that was my thing when I was working with people. It all comes down to, and I'm kind of having an aha moment right now. It's like my true passion is luxury retail. That's what I started in, and I've dabbled in other places between jobs and stuff, and it all comes back to luxury retail. I love the everything behind it, and that's the clients that I wanted. And don't get me wrong, I love a sale. I love some stuff here and there, but the main part is I want someone that also appreciates those things, or maybe they want to take it to they're ready to elevate their wardrobe, and that's what a lot of my clients are. I don't have time. I'm a mom. I'm working full time. I used to love shopping, but I do not have time anymore. And that is that's my client. They appreciate the pretty things. They like the brand. and they might need in a lot of the times since they have been so busy working and raising kids that they've kind of lost their sense of style a little bit. So I'm there to kind of help them, you know, take out that little gap.
Right, reconnect them with themselves really, and then connect them with the things that are gonna fill up their life with that kind of beauty and high-end luxury, which brings us to why a business model needed to connect with that because Molly is doing really well at hourly, but the perception too, even if you're doing great, is like, okay, you're gonna spend $5,000 for a dress or even $500 for a dress if, as a client. Like the package has to reflect, the style and package has to reflect in the price the perception of what the person wants in their life. So, like, yes, it's how much Molly wanted to make, it's where she wanted to take her business, but it's also knowing her audience and knowing that building the business there. So, what were some of the biggest changes that you feel like you made in the program?
I didn't have a process for anything. I really did.
We're in the club, girl, and none of us do. None of us do. We just dive in.
Right. I mean, I used Hue and Stripe. That was my only software. I didn't have like onboarding. I didn't have offboarding and all of those things. I'm still working on a lot of my processes, but already just having like my onboarding and making that big one and then taking them down to all the other packages, I feel so much more like it's almost dummy proof. It's just so easy. I feel so much more organized and I have a process for everything. I didn't have a marketing plan really. I'm still working on that, but
It's always a work in progress, these things. They're never big. That was like you're just talking about templates that she got and systems that she's given in the program, but like they're living documents. You keep going back to it, you keep updating it, you keep making it better.
right. And that's another thing. I learning about marketing and how it really works and I'm seeing how it is working. Like
Isn't it wild? You like
it sounds so silly and it's like, oh hey, Nicole was right. Like everything is working and I'm just starting. So it's like I'm so excited with all the things that are happening right now.
I'm so excited every time I see your content because I'm like, oh, this is one of the pillars. This is the thing. Like
I know. I feel like the honor student. I'm like, oh, I hope my teacher is still love this.
well, one thing about me is that in my one-to-one or my group program, once you're in my world, I'm gonna be in your DMs. That's true. It's so annoying.
I love it. Yes.
And I really think that one of my reasons that my programs are small and I keep it really like intimate is because I want to be able to tell people like you're doing amazing because it is so lonely out here. It is so hard to know, and people can be scrolling through your content and even watching it, and they might love it, but they're not going to tell you because they don't even think to because they don't know how hard it is out here. So my thing is like when I see you guys trying, when I see you guys working, I'm just so proud of you. Like I can't even not be in your DMs, but it is true what you just said. Like when you see the marketing working, it does feel like you turned a key into like Narnia and you're like, what? This is how it works. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, you speaking on that lonely, I mean, you are the thing is I had reached out to there's living in Dallas, there are tons of stylists, and I had reached out to a few just to kind of talk to them, but I mean, people are pretty stonewall because I feel like they think you're competition or they just there's like a weird I have yet to meet a stylist that I'm warm and fuzzy with because they just are kind of to themselves. It's just a one-man show. Getting into this program, it kind of gives you a sense of, I still chat with some of the other stylists I was in there with, or we'll bounce ideas off of each other. And
I just did that.
yeah, it's good. I mean, I think otherwise you don't know what you're doing because being a stylist is so unique. Unless you have like you're a stylist with many stylists under you, I don't know anything else like that.
So true. I think that what you're speaking to too is something people are worried about in a group program of like, ooh, like I don't want to do a group. Like I don't want other people to judge me. I don't want people to see my business. But A, I don't think I hold spaces that way. And B, I think what we miss when we're afraid of the judgment is what connection can actually do for us and how it can like expand us versus feeling diminished by it.
Yeah, I mean, I got ideas from other stylists, but we were all so different in our business and all of our customers could not be more different. But, it was interesting how, I mean, all of us came from such different backgrounds and all their businesses are ran so differently that you kind of learn, it kind of opens up your eyes to stuff that you didn't even know like was out there.
And it shows you that like yes, you could argue there's competition, but there's not if you're building the business to like what we talked about with Molly. Like she knew who she wanted, she knew what she liked, she had her experience. No one can replicate that. No one is going to be able to replicate Molly's marketing, Molly's perspective, all the years in retail, her ability. And I'm telling you, I see a lot of stylist content. I don't see people talking about quality and being able to educate people. I have learned so much through watching her content. Like there's no one that's going to be able to put the pieces together the way that she did. So when you go through a business plan like we did, nobody leaves the program with the same like exact business, which does happen in certain corners of the internet because you have to bring yourselves to it or else it doesn't work. And I think your business is a real testament to that. So we changed things up. We gave you some packages. We drastically raised your prices. How did you feel about that when we were doing it? Because you were a real trooper about it.
I mean, because that's the thing. It's like even being a stylist, I forget who had told me it was like, it was my friend that's the organizer, and she is a high end organizer. Like she just did 100,000 square foot home. Okay. She's working with high net worth people. And she was like, we have to remind ourselves not to shop with our wallet. Well, that's what we also have to remind ourselves as a stylist. I might not spend $5,000 on that dress, but our client will. So it's kind of the same thing with the packaging. And I get it. I should know that as I used to price garments and mark things up and working in luxury retail, like there is a client for that, and that's who I'm targeting.
It's still you. It's still hard when it's you. But I think, and it's funny that you said the way your friend said it. I love that. Like, don't shop with your own wallet. First of all, great advice for stylists. That should be a t-shirt for like the whole brand. But also, we always think about like how it's really important as stylists to learn how to like dress other people's body types. And like, we're all very like, we want to make sure people know we're not going to dress them like us and all of that. What we forget is that part of that equation is also not pricing ourselves for ourselves. Like it just as much as hard as understanding your client over there and getting into their world is the pricing. It is a way of connecting. We see it as like taking things away from people, which like is going to be a big problem in your business if you continue to look at it that way. So you made the leap, you upped your prices. While you were in the program, you had an interesting experience. You were working with a client in like a smaller package, which that's fine. And then what?
Yeah, she had a smaller,
Like a charity package.
yes, a charity package, exactly. And she busy working mom, and what she needed was a complete overhaul. So I just said, "This is what I have," and she said, "Great. When can we start?" It was that easy because that's what she wanted. And it was kind of like I messaged Nicole immediately, like, "Wait, you were right. This worked."
Well, what Molly's leaving out is there's this in between email conversation where she was like, it was a big leap. It was like 10 times maybe the price of it was almost 10 times.
Yeah.
It was like a couple hundred to like 1,000. And that's a big leap. It was the first time Molly had charged that much. I knew she was worth it. But when you've never pitched it before, like when you've never done it. So Molly took the sales process that we talked about, which is a little counterintuitive because I don't tell people to present everything to the client. I tell them to ask these questions and then present them with the best option. And she did it. And the woman came back with a yes. And just seeing Molly's face on the next group call of like, oh my gosh. And now hearing that you're almost at a wait list is for fall. It's August 20th.
Yep. Yep.
Bananas. Like,
Yep. Well, and also, and that's the thing. As you get years of experience, you get hopefully you're going to get more busy. And I have people right now, they're like, "Hey, I need something next week." You've got to train your client to you got to plan to I cannot make clothes appear on your doorstep tomorrow for your event this weekend.
I think that's actually part of this. People think like, oh, I'm going to do like a higher end client, which means 12 hours a day I have to be available. And what I tell stylists a lot is like, not if you're training your client to be the right client. Like people think that there's like this belief, I think, that people that are wealthy or people that are like a really high end client are automatically demanding. And the reality is no one group of people is any one way. So if you want to work with the people that are wealthy and not demanding 24/7, they can be discerning, but they don't have to be demanding. They don't have to push your boundaries, which is why it helps to have a system to lay out for them and onboarding so they know what is in bounds. I think that's part of it. But like, it doesn't have to be that way, to Molly's point.
Yeah. And you really touched on that too. And even like last night, I was looking at my emails and I had several emails, that were stuff about scheduling, but it was after my office hours. And these people don't know my office hours, but I'm just trying to kind of set that precedence. Like, okay, if you're going to send an email at this time, I'll answer it the next day when I'm in my office.
It's so easy to like, I get it. It's easy to be like, well, I'm here now. Let me just answer. And when you don't zoom out and see like the bigger picture of your business, like now I just schedule them because sometimes at night that's like when I have time and then I just schedule them for the morning. But like it's important to always point to like really perception is everything in business.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think the biggest surprises have been for you in being a stylist? Like when you made the leap after you had your children and you were like, okay, I'm going to open this business. What has been the hardest and what has been the easiest part that you didn't really expect?
The hardest was the balance. Like, I mean, that's anything, the, it was like over scheduling myself because you don't realize what something you think might only take 2 hours, or I would get into these closet edits and let myself just get completely zapped, and I would be in a closet for 6 hours, and that was Nicole's, she had some great advice with those. That was just my biggest thing was, like, the balance of it all, and I'm still trying to figure that out because I don't wanna be on my phone. I mean, my daughter is almost 7 and, she notices everything. She's like, "Mommy, you're always on your phone. Are you always working?" And I just don't want her thinking that I'm always on my phone. So I'm trying to be more present with that and just keeping it now that they're back in school, like working during work hours. And that's the great thing about being a stylist and work for yourself. My office hours are only till 3 o'clock and then I'm done because I'm going to pick up my kids and be with them.
And I think having higher prices help with that because you don't feel like you have to say yes to everything. You don't feel like, your systems are in line to kind of keep some of those structures and boundaries. When I didn't have those things, I was constantly reacting and like I didn't have kids then, but I'm so grateful I figured out systems before I had a kid because they do notice I mean, my daughter's 3 and she's like, I hate your phone. And I'm like, okay, okay. Like,
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
they notice. But flip side of that is they also notice that like, I noticed she's like, oh, mommy works hard or like mommy, like I want her to see both. I don't want her to see me on my phone when like I should be paying attention to her and playing walks, but it's also good for our kids to see that like,
Yeah, that's part of the reason I wanted to do this. I mean, I don't wanna say we can have I mean, as a mom, or you cannot have it awesome. He kinda does, yet, I want to they're too young to realize exactly what I'm doing, but, like, I decided to take the leap of faith. I have a passion, and I feel so grateful and lucky that I can say I love what I do, and I knew what I've always wanted to do, and then I was able to take the leap of faith and do that, and that's what I'm trying to teach my girls. Like, hey, you know what? If you find something you love, it'll never feel like a job. And it doesn't. I love what I do and it's fun for me.
yeah, it's so easy. I think too, I hear this from a lot of stylists. They feel guilty. Like, well, I did the program in the summer and I know a lot of people feel concerned about that. Like, oh, the kids are home. But partially that's hard when we don't have a plan for our business. We don't know what is important. We don't know what matters. So that if you are taking some time away from your kids, it's for the things that it's 3 or 4 hours for the things that are actually moving your business forward.
Yeah, I planned it around, their camps or, I don't know, I would, say like, "Hey, it's movie time. Like you're going to watch a movie for a little bit and then we're going to have a fun activity around it. Or do it at night. I just made it work. And the great thing is now I can go back to anything that I didn't maybe get as detailed on something. And I just reference back to all the things that I saved down and printed off and able to deep dive in more now that they're at school.
And you were able to do enough to like relaunch a business, get sales. Like,
Yeah, at the time relaunched my business, launched a website, and
kids were home for summer.
kids were at home. I mean, was it a little chaotic? Yeah, but I can look back and be like, hey, you know what? I did it.
Yeah, and like it's done. Like now you can go back and refine, but it's done. And I think we make it seem like everything has to be perfect. No, like I want to tell you exactly what things you need to do because like we don't have time to waste here. We have like families and we want to make money. And my thing is like, I want you making money. We'll figure out the rest of it later. Like,
Well, and that's what I mean. I think I had voiced that concern to you when we were in the talks of me doing the program. I was like, oh, my kids are at home. And you kind of said that. You're like, there's never really a perfect time. And I was like, you know what? That is honestly the truth about anything. It's like when someone says, oh, when are you ready to have your next kid? Well, you're never really ready. I mean, you just take the leap and go for it. When are you ready for kids? You're never ready.
you're just like more or less naive about what you're getting into. Basically, it's my experience. I had a lot of time to plan and I still was not prepared.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's just like with anything. And I mean, I'm very grateful that the timing worked out with the launch because now I'm able to, I feel more organized than I ever have because everything is just like lined up for me and I've taken the time to do the work.
I think
And it's like you said too, I like all the templates and stuff it does take a lot of time to get everything, set up, your onboarding and everything, but then you just have it. It's ready. So when you just send it to someone, you change a few things out, and I love that.
one of the things Kristen was saying, who was also in the program with Molly, was like, yeah, it takes like a couple hours to like maybe put in your copy for the onboarding and offboarding. But she's like, it took me 10 years to get it. We tend to be like, oh, how much time is this going to take? It's like, well, it's going to take you years or it's going to take you 2 hours in the program. Like, up to you. And you're going to feel more confident selling your offers. But if you don't know that, you don't know that. Like, if you don't know what you don't have in your business to make it easier, then how would you know?
I mean, the templates in itself, I was like, wow, I wouldn't even know where to start with this onboarding. Even though we went through all that, as a template, I would have I don't know, the templates are great. And it's just, if you put in the work, the program's already paid for itself. And it was a month ago.
Every person that did the program, it already paid for itself. Again, can't promise it, but can say that, like, if you
You
did
have to put in the work. It's like anything. I mean, it's how much you put into it. And I was able to do it, with the kids home and figure it out.
awesome. What are you? I have so many things I'm so excited about your business, but I'll shut up. What are you most excited about in this next chapter?
Just taking it to the next level and finally getting to know like now that I know what my real client that I really want is, I feel like now I have the confidence to talk to the client that I want and have exactly, I feel like there was maybe, not that it's too late, but there's been missed opportunity that, the client is looking for you for the answers. And I was going to them saying, well, what do you want? And now I can say, here's what you need, And so I think just being able to take it to the next, to the next level and keep building from there and building a brand. That's my goal. I would even love to maybe have a stylist under me or have people that, I can have kind of a team of people. That would be like ultimate goal.
I could see you being a great mentor, and like I could really see that for you. I don't think it's for everyone, but for you, I could really see that you would have so much to teach them, and you could really bring a lot of understanding that I think will be lost in coming years because of how much retail has changed. Um, I think that would be really amazing, and I can totally see that vision for you, and I'm excited.
Thanks.
Thank you for being with me today, Molly. It was so great to chat with you.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in today. Molly's results prove that with the right strategy and support, taking your styling business to the next level is absolutely possible. If you're ready to attract dream clients, confidently price your services, and master marketing and sales to drive consistent, high-ticket results, the Income Accelerator may be your next step. Head to the show notes, apply, and let's talk. Do not wait. Your six-figure business is way closer than you think, and I would love to help you make it happen. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It turns out that social proof is actually pretty important. So if you could help me out, I'd so appreciate it. If you just had a quick free moment and could leave me a rating or review on the podcast app, that would be killer. And even better, if you wanted to share this episode on Instagram and tag me, that would totally make my day. And it would bring so much more awareness to the podcast and would help other stylists just like you who are looking to build lucrative styling business, because the better each of us does, the better all of us do. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll chat with you next time.